This live stream is for entertainment and information purposes only. Do not copy our trades, as we are just trading to have fun. Many of our trades could already be closed before you even see us opening the trade on YouTube due to the delay of the stream, and we trade offline as well, so you do not get to see the complete picture. We make no claims of profitability. We are not licensed professionals, and we are not providing any investment or trading advice. Greater than 90% of all traders lose money, and we are not responsible or liable for any of your trading decisions or losses. Please trade on demo only and consult a licensed professional. Please read and understand CFTC Rule 4.41. Let's get to the charts and trade safe today. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, OFT, Joker Trades, whoever else is out there in trading land. I haven't even looked to see what happened in the overnight market, 18,400. I guess nothing too much. I think maybe Joker caught my cold. I hear him clearing his throat from the post stream, if that's possible. I'm sick again. I don't know. What can you do? You can hear it in my deep Lou Rawls voice. But the cough went away. And that's the most important thing, because that cough was plaguing me for a long time. Long time. Looking bounce today. God damn it. Sold to 18,000. Got lucky. I haven't looked yet. I'm still setting up. I don't even know what happened yet. Let me go to the 15-minute chart. What time was that? Ah, that was at 9 o'clock. We were still on stream. Yeah, we were still on stream. Yeah. Okay, so but we were covered and we're trading higher today. So yeah, maybe I agree. Looking bounce. We just traded over the Asian session. We didn't reach the Asia session lows. We're starting to get a higher, well, we got one higher swing high and one higher swing low. So yeah, I could see that happening. However, it could also look like we're going to rotate lower right now because we're under the previous day's close and we're under VWAP. So I don't have an opinion on which way we're going to go. I'll let the market lead the dance and I'll just follow. Let me take a look at the 60-minute. Wow, the 60-minute is forming an interesting pattern here, eh, guys? Look at that little little wedge, huh? 1400-ish. Hey, you're like me. I'm also an ish kind of a guy. I ish a lot. 18,400-ish is daily level I would like to see at the top. Open that we will try to sell lower. And fail to do that. Okay, so you're looking for it to freak people out, go under 18,400 and then reverse. Well, with that little wedge there, pennant, or whatever people call it, I can see that happening. Yeah, of course. I'm not a line in the sand at one point. 18,400. Nah, it's not 18,000. That's why I use bands. You know, you can see bands in all my charts because it's an area. You know, it's there's no band. Oh, here's the bands. It's on the algo. The algo uses bands. All my charts that actually give me signals use bands. The charts that don't give me signals that I present on the internet don't have bands. But yeah, it's an area. It's a zone. If we're able to push and get a full candle above, then I'm convinced maybe the direction has changed. But just, you know, same thing with the previous day's close or the previous day's low. I got to see a full candle above, 2 consecutive closes, high, low above. That means we change direction, because it's the whole area that has to be crossed and held. Okay, so I got to figure out what I'm going to trade and how. Take a look at my accounts. Good luck. Yes, good luck, O50. Trade safe. I'll chat it up in your room a little bit, see how you're doing. I like to watch your trades. Okay, I gotta set my strategies up. Opening drive. Opening drive goes on. Well, first off, that should send it lower. No, it doesn't. Who's the oh, I have 2 of them, that's why. What's the volume right now? Wow, almost 1 million contracts. That's a heck of a day. Okay, bear with me still with setup. So opening drive has to get put on because we're 4 minutes away. Strategies and enable it. Opening drive trader. We used to have it on Sim 102, eh? Sim 102. Enabled, it's ready to go. Sim 101 for that one. Not going to trade yet. And Crude. We got to put up the Crude. I like to watch the Crude. Strategies. Clever Crude. Where's Clever Crude? Clever Crude. Futures floor. Okay. Enabled it. We'll enable it on. Yeah, Sim 101. That's fine. It doesn't trade. It just tracks it. I didn't enable the trading. Okay, we'll set up after the reflux algo to trade. Edit. Set up the morning session. Load. The morning template. There we go. Okay, so that's ready to go. So I think we're all ready to go. So in summary, we are still under VWAP and under the previous day's close. So right there, I'm bearish. On the 1 minute, lower swing lows. So that's bearish. Doesn't mean we're going to go down, but that's bearish. And my top step charts are bearish. So we're kind of bearish today. Right now, for the open, bearish bias. I'm going to take it easy on the morning. I'm not going to jump in right away like an aggressive trade the open kind of a guy, which I like to do and I'm good at, but I'm going to take it easy. Headphones off. I'm back. Headphones on, getting ready for the day to start. Let us see what the volatility is. That's going to determine really my game plan. Right now it's 31 points. That's pre-market. That's pretty insane. And we're opening in 10 seconds, so that's going to shoot up. Okay. Let me also get my sizes. I need a little desk light. Let me get my sizes organized. Hey, I didn't put the minimums. Anyways, I know the minimums. Sorry guys, I was still working on my risk plan. I don't have my phone. I got to pull out my calculator, my handy dandy calculator. I don't have a link for that right away. I got to come here. $1,500 divided by 60 equals 25. 2,500 divided by 120. 20. 5,000 divided by 360. 13. That's it. $480. No, those numbers have to come down some. That is no good. That's way too aggressive. 25, 20, 13, and 13. I think it should be 20. 20? Okay, well, there's a theoretical question. What's a good amount of risk per trade? Or how many units should we slice up the trailing drawdown into for each trade? That's the question. Hey. Okay, opening drive trader. Oh, I'm on the wrong account. Opening drive trader shorted. This is a good area for me to maybe take a small short. I mean, it's beyond the 50% mark for the drawdown. Let's do an F8 and see where the 50% is. There's the 50%. Let's see, 420. Okay, I'm at the 40. I'm in at the 50%. The 50% is 24.56. I'm in at 23 and a quarter. That's good. I'll add if we break a low on the 1 minute candle. So we're just watching. You know what? I'll put it in a stop order. It'll be easier. What just happened there? Okay, 37 seconds. Still didn't break the low, and I didn't even put it at the low. Oh, this stupid cursor. It's gonna, come on, I gotta get below it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Well, that was exciting. Okay, reach lower now. Reach lower. Reach lower. Reach lower. Come on, you want to reach lower? No. You're trying to reach lower. I see. Wow, look at it jiggle and jaggle. I didn't check the spread either. I lowered the risk on this. It didn't dump. I don't see the. Why don't I see the spread? Oh, 1 and a quarter. That's not so crazy. Okay, now it'll reach lower. Let's go. There you go. Come on, reach lower. No, wrong way. There we go. Now we can let it go. We took some risk off the table. That's the important thing. And now let's see if we can break the US session low. So I'm going to put in my buy under the US session low. So all the way down there, the buy limit. How's that for a target? That's 64 points. Yeah, I'm going to go for 64 points. Are you guys proud of me? You should be proud of me. Yeah, you're going against me again. That's okay. Getting close to the stop out point. If it goes, it goes. Oh, look at that. I'm going to try and trade my way out of this. But in 18 seconds, it looks like the candle's going to close. So let's get back to VWAP. Okay, well, it's gonna get, it stopped out. And I didn't lose money because I wiggled and jiggled, so I'm happy with that. For me, it was break even. I used my skills. And the opening drive took a big loss. Another big loss for the opening drive. That's terrible. But that's okay. It'll make it up. It's an interesting pattern, though, now, how it keeps faking out, going one way and then reversing. Okay. Now we go to the algo and initialize it. It's down 137 from last night. I didn't reset the account. The algo took a short since the open. Let me think. No, it took a long. Took a long and lost. Okay, so good. Yeah, switch the account. Okay, let's get ready to start trading. I think we're good to go. EMA 30. Nice move down there. Very fast market, guys. One point spread, which is a little high, and .60 range on the 1 minute candles. That's high. Got below VWAP, 2 consecutive closes. We never had 2 consecutive closes on the 1 minute chart above VWAP yet. But we'll see if we can get that. We're back above VWAP, but when we have right above VWAP, we have the previous day's close. And if you've been tuning in for any time, you know that causes me always stress. Causes stress on my trades. So I'm marking off that area. I think it's Control F12 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we got to get away from this little zone here. I'm not trading inside that zone. We're either above it, full candle above, full candle below. And the algo is bullish bias, but unfortunately it took a big loser there right on the open. It didn't take it. Whew, my eyes are itchy. My eyes are itchy, my eyes are dry. The cold is wreaking havoc with my eyeballs. Some nice moves, though. Some nice moves. I'm cold again. I'm starting to get cold. Templates. Save. Save as default. Okay. Are we at 9:45 yet? First 15 minutes. Let's see. Everyone trades the ORB on the first 15 minutes. They're all getting slaughtered, just like the opening range trade is getting my opening break trade. Everybody's getting slaughtered. I think PW stopped trading it already. But then he talks about how it would have worked out later. Like that's ridiculous. It didn't work out later. The trade failed. The fact that the market ran one direction or the other after the trade failed is irrelevant. Fuck, I could say that about any of my trades. Oh, after I got stopped out, look, it ran 2 hours later. It ran there. Okay. But my trade wasn't 2 hours later. My trade was now. Oh, I took a trade in December. Look now, 5 months later. Look where it is. Okay. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same stupidity. Trying to make it sound like it's a good trade because it worked out 3 hours after you took it? Or price was higher after you went long and got stopped out? 3 hours later? Seriously? That seems like a valid argument to you? You want to tell people that? I don't think so. That's the 15-minute break, I think. Let's watch it. I should fade it. I should fade it. 46. Yeah, that went into the... That's the 15-minute break. But I have no idea what his target is, to be honest with you. I know he has 50% targets. Oh, I think it's the whole range. Yeah, I think he uses the whole range. I don't know. Don't confirm. You got to check his video because they made a video on it. But I think he uses the 50% range as the first target. Ah, that's it. And he stops out at the 50. Now I understand. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Okay, that trade didn't work. Cost me absolutely nothing. I got in with absolutely like zero risk. I love those trades. While they look a little hectic to you, they don't look hectic to me. They look like great trades. So what's the 50% of 788 to 788? Wow. That's a big range. I need to put in a 150 when I have time. Not now. If I put in a 150, I'm going to get distracted and I'm going to miss a trade. There we go. That was fast to fast. Let me get that in properties. Let me put in a 150. 7 price levels. 200. Add 200. 150. Okay. Template. Save. Save as default. Yes. Okay, and there's the 150. I don't have to do the math. 663. Al goes long. Anyways, I'm going to remember to, what is it? It's 681. Okay, I'll remember that. I don't want this in the way. It's kind of interfering with my vision, my analysis. We've gotten out of that range. We're above previous day's close. I'll take a one lot. with an emergency stop. That's not really my stop. It's an emergency stop. Wow, one lots. I don't even know what's. I think it's 250K account. Got my finger on the close button. I'm marketing out of the trades. It's not worth. Markets are so fast that if it stops you out, you have to get out. You have to get out. It's too fast. You got an aha moment? I want to know what the aha moment was. What is the aha moment, Kevin? I'll have to write you. Nah, come on. Come in, go into the Discord. I'll hook you up into audio. Nah, seriously, if you got an aha moment, excellent. Excellent, excellent. Give me a few and I'll jump in. Sounds good. Okay, I got crisscross currents here, so I don't know. I guess I should wait, right? That's always the advice. The 1 minute is strongly bullish, but my charts are kind of bearish. Likely to get stopped out if I take signals on those. So I think I'm gonna just really take trades when everything is in. I never know that word. Everything is in, well, the same direction, but there's a word for it. Not coordination. Everything is in. I'll have to chat GPT it. Okay, since everything is off balance here right now, I got a few moments. I'm gonna go get a sweater again. I'm cold. Refresh my coffee. I'll be back like in a minute and a half. It'll be quick. Yeah. Okay, I got the word I'm looking for. The word I was looking for, in agreement. Everything has to be in agreement. I knew there was a word. That's the word. Okay, there we go. Now we what the hell? Bye. Am I still live again? I don't know. Oh yeah, I see movement. Okay, there we go. Hello everyone. Had a little bit of an OBS fart there. There we go. That's what I needed to do. Wow, look at it fly. I'm getting there, don't worry. Don't worry. Really? If I do that, that happens? Oh, I know why that's happening. I gotta use the Alt key. Yeah, maybe we should slow it down a bit, eh? We got one more thing I gotta do. Oh yeah, filter. There we go. See if anybody takes the bait. Okay, lock it. There we go. I hope it'll work. I'm not sure. I don't know why my coffee's cold. It's on a plate. Mic is on. Time to start trading, boys and girls. I'll go short. We've broken what was I saying? I'm still clicking some buttons here. Turning down some mics here. Okay. Let's see what we can do. So, mic is on. Yes, it is. Volume, perfect. Got to keep checking. 1 minute is kind of short. Short bias, I would say. Just looking at this chart. Same thing over here. We're already starting to get lower swing lows. Probably going to get a lower swing high. But we're in that little range again that I identified with VWAP and the previous day's close. I don't want to trade near there. I want to get away from there because that's going to act like a magnet. 15 minute, we haven't taken out any of the London high or low yet. So no information to glean from that. I think those are short. I can take a cash register trade. If it goes short and I get a good price. It's very volatile still. Let's take the 3-lot one. It's enough. See what's happening. I know what's happening. I gotta move the ATM. I took a short based on the break of the previous candle's low. My stop will be the high, which it looks like we got stopped out, so I'm gonna have to cover. Oh, wrong size. Look at that. That's an error. Well, hope it'll work out in my favor. Let's go. Run. It did for a second, for a split second. Okay, close. Okay. Who doesn't like an error that works out in their favor, right? And I think I still can't trade the fast charts. I'm trading the fast charts. Actually, a little bit of combination of both. Yeah, I got to break away from the fashion. I wish I could close it and not see it. Problem is I see it. That used to be my main chart. So far the algo today just took one trade, one loser for quite a bit of points probably. 20 points, no big deal. Okay, it wasn't so bad. Algo's down 20 points today so far. With 63 points of range in the 1 minute candles, that's really not bad at all. Wow, my charts need adjusting so quickly. The markets are fast. I can't even keep up with them, to be honest with you. Okay, I'll take a trade using emergency large. That's the or maybe I'll do this. Hold on, we'll see. Yeah, let's see if I can get in with this. Excellent. Excellent. We'll let the other one run. With my finger on the close button. Yeah, close. That was fast. I don't even know if I took anything out of that, but try again. Finger on the close button. Really? I didn't get taken out? Finger on the close button. Okay, so it's the account. It's the account that's not at 60. We'll remember, so I was at 34. It's good to know if these go. Come on, go. Run, 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 run. Get excited. Get excited. This fucking damn cursor again. I hate this cursor. It's so hard to move the things. Finger on the close button. I'm going to try for 40 points. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, give me my 40 points. Give me my 40 points. To hell with it. I'll take what they gave me. I'm not going for my fight and get my 40 points. It's okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Ha! Came back down. Okay, we got a fair value gap over there. Where is the first fair value gap? Looks like it was this one. We came right back into it, bounced off. Okay. I'm going to stretch out my zone to go until 11, 12 because I'm tired of having to keep changing it. We'll try again if we get an opportunity for another one of those fun cash register trades. I like them. But now we have disagreement again. Now I have some charts. I have some charts that are short, some charts that are long. This is a clear picture here. This one is short. No, everything is short right now. I made a mistake. So let's see if we can catch a short trade. Let's go to emergency stop large. Set it to a 1 lot. That's good for me right there. Finger on the close button. The stop is very close. That was like 70 bucks. That was easy peasy for a 1 lot. You know what my minimum size on this account is, if I'm not mistaken, should be instead of a 1 lot. God damn it. The minimum size is supposed to be an 8 lot. I think I said it too aggressively though, but what's 6,500? Where's my calculator? 6,500. $6,500 divided by 20. I should be risking $325 per trade. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 20. For conservative, I'm going to use 20. If I'm losing $60 per contract, 325 divided by 60 equals 5, but I'll round up to 6. Okay, so we're going to change that to 6. Everything's going to 20. It's too crazy, the markets. It's got to be... Let's redo the math. My mic is on. I lost my calculator. I closed it. I'm going to redo them all. Easy peasy calculator here. 5,000 divided by 20 is 250 divided by 60. $60 risk per contract per trade. That's 4. That's for the 150K account. 240, 6 times 60, 360. Well, 2,500 is the opposite, so that's 2 for 120. 2, and then the only one we have to do after that is the 25K. 25K gives you 1,500 divided by, what did I say, 20? $75. Really? That's all it gives you? So it gives you a one lot, one trade? One lot, one trade? $75 divided by 60. 1.25. Okay. So 6, 12, 24, and 36. Figured out my lot sizes. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the ultra conservative mode. Now, what's the PDLL on that? 2 losses is 120, 2 losses is 240, 480. I think 2 losses, 2 max losses. Hey, you're done. 480, 360, 720. That's at 2 losses. What about 3, 6, 12, 2 loss. 3 loss. Let's see the numbers. 3 loss is 180, 120, 240, 360, 240, 246, 4812, 720, and 360, 369, 612, 18. It's $1,080. Okay, so those are the decisions we have to make. How much we want to risk per trade in units of trailing drawdown, and then how much we want to risk per day as a unit of trailing drawdown. A lot of questions. Oh, it's still flying in. Looks so much slower on my machine. Let's bring it down. 149. Let's bring it down to 120. Close. 2, 3. It slows down now. Still going too fast. I guess just bring it down to that speed there. Wow, it's like the fucking speed thing doesn't change anything. Okay. So where are we? Short, 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 and short, and I have a trade. I don't know, did I get a better fill? I'm out because I got a shitty fill on that, probably a little bit late. Come on, you can do more. You can go lower. That's how it's done. $100 at a time. Wow, even with the sweater, I'm still cold. Maybe I have a fever. Let's see where this one can go. Let's hold this one. Let's see if I get lucky. Finger on the close button. Yeah, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? I'm a chip away kind of trader. Still have an entry over here with the emergency stop. Oh, shit. At 96. Yeah, it's gone. I had a chance, but it's gone. Volatility, 60 points. Okay, no one joined the audio room. It's too bad. That was a good trade. Yeah, it was sucky. You just log in and click on the, there's an audio room. You just click on it. It's right under the opening drive play. Oh, fuck off. That was so fast. There you are. I just heard you log in. Come on, don't stop me out again. Go lower. Push lower.
There we go.
There you go, Kevin. Wait, I'm in a trade. I'm going to get probably stopped out. I don't know yet. Go, push lower. Hit my target. There we go. Target 1. At least I have less risk. Go to target 2. Ah, we got it. There we go. Now I'll just move my stop up to here. That's good enough. Okay, now let me just make sure you're on stream. Say hello.
What's up?
Yeah, looks like it's working. Okay, there we go. We are live with
Hello.
with Kevin.
What's up, brother?
That's fun.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm digging it.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so how you doing this morning so far? Did you catch some trades? I don't even know.
I did.
Go ahead.
I've been looking. So let me give you a background real quick, futures on this whole situation.
Hold on. I gotta guess your accent, where you're from.
All right, let me know.
It's Southern, that's for sure. First off, I live in Canada. I'm in Canada. So I'm gonna I'm gonna be off. I'm gonna be off because I'm not from the U.S. But that is a Southern accent. Hold on.
That's right.
Texas?
Pretty close. Well, I say pretty close. Definitely south. I'm in Alabama.
Alabama was my first guess. I swear to God, I went against it. I swear to God, I'm not lying. Alabama was my first choice, but then I said, I'm gonna go with Texas. I changed my mind. Shit, I would have had it. I would have been so impressed. Okay, go on. You were talking about your trades.
Yeah, so I've only been trading 6 months, give or take.
Okay.
And I kind of got into it in a weird off the wall way. A buddy of mine is a bookie for sports and stuff like that. So he does a lot of trading and does a lot of gambling in that sense. And he comes to me and he says, "Hey man, can you build me out something to kind of help with ratios, numbers, various stuff. Pretty much picking who's going to win, right?
Okay.
Or helping in that department, right? So I built him out something, and it was about 70% accurate, which I thought was not good, but apparently it's really good in that sense.
Okay, but doesn't that depend on what the payout is? I mean, if it's a heavy favorite, paying
exactly
10 cents on the dollar, 70%, it all depends.
Yeah, so he's also playing on both sides, right? He's a bookie, but he also actually puts in his own with another bookie too. So he was more so using this in that sense, trying to play that side of it or whatnot. So, and I've never gambled, so I don't know much about betting and stuff like that. So, but long story short, I got into it and I kind of wrote him out something. It was doing pretty good, and on a whim one day, listen, and when I say whim, it was like, I wonder if I could do this trading. And I've always wanted to learn the craft, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe that's probably the best word to explain it. So, and out of high school, I went to college for finance and actually swapped over to computer science. But nevertheless, I've always had that in the back of my head that I wanted to be into that. So I started getting into it and I started writing a little bit. And the more I wrote this code out and stuff, the more I realized that I obviously need to know more about trading.
Yeah.
And instead of, because I didn't even, what's a VWAP, right? What is all this stuff, right?
Yeah, so, if you're going to code something, you have to, try to formulate trades around something. If you're going to test for edge, you're going to test for edge, yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So that led down to this road of me just trying to learn, just picking it up here and there, taking notes, doing my own little thing or whatever. And I guess I started out with stocks, right? And I only trade one setup when I'm trading stocks, and it's just a quick momentum play kind of thing.
Okay.
Building on volume, the basics with the stock market or whatever. So,
were you following anybody online at the time with stocks?
Not really. I tried to stay away from that, right? I wanted to, and this may sound weird, but I wanted to endure the suck so I would learn it in my own sense, in my own fashion, I guess. Versus taking any type of bias or, and it's not to say that I thought I was better than that by any means. It was just more about me, the way I learn. Obviously, everybody learns different. So
the only thing
their own ways.
Yeah, the only thing I would say against that is in the beginning, if you're like green, you don't know which path to follow. You don't know if it's a valid path or it's just a nonsense path from someone who doesn't know what he's talking about, Like that's the only thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was afraid of, right? Like, what if I jumped on board and I started following a particular person on YouTube or whatnot, and there's a lot of I think they call them furus out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And and I didn't want to build, number one, a certain perception. I wanted to build my own bias, my own understanding. So at least build my platform, right? My base or whatever. So on my own, and then, maybe start kind of following and looking into some more in detailed education and whatnot. So, but long story short, I did that, and I was actually, I think it was more beginner's luck, right? Fairly successful literally the first month and a half.
It's amazing how often that happens.
Ain't it though,
it's
right?
It's crazy, amazing how often that happens.
Yeah, it was almost like, in the back of your head, you're thinking, I have a gift from God.
Yeah, I know. Can it really be this easy?
Yeah, why is everybody complaining so much? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And of course, the humble pie got fed, and then it started going downhill, and then it started going downhill more. And then it got to the point where, and every trader's been there, I'm sure, maybe I need to find something else to do. Right.
Yeah.
But so it got down to that, and then I thought, I'm obviously reading into a lot of stuff a lot deeper than I should. I have horrible ADHD, so I psychoanalyze everything under the sun. And throughout my whole life, if I'm trying something, it never fails. I'm actually fairly good at it until my brain gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So long story short, that kind of going down that road of being humbled and all that good stuff, and then lost my job. I got laid off. I've been in the cybersecurity for golly,
no
20
kidding.
years. Yeah, IT, all that junk, whatever. Pretty nerd stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I lost my job, and I thought, I know I can do this. I've got good money saved up. As far as a nest egg, I guess. My wife, we're on my wife's insurance anyway, so that kind of helps. We're in a good spot where I could take a year off from the cyber stuff and just focus on this, right?
Yeah.
And build out a plan and kind of go from there. Well, this was about a month ago. Finally lost my job, whatever, and I vowed to myself that I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to keep going with it, and not to be one of those full-time trader guys by any means, but more to I love it. I enjoy it. I love it. I feel like I'm a true student. I love learning. If I could be a full-time student for the rest of my life, I would.
You have what I have.
But
I call it curiosity. I have an insane curiosity. I like to know how everything works. I mean,
exactly,
everything. The questions that pop into my mind. But yeah, and you know what? That's what you need. You need to love it. If you come in just for the money, it's
oh yeah,
you're likely not to put in the amount of work that's required. Number one, and
yep.
You're not going to be a student of the market, so I think you're going to struggle because you're just going to want to be in there for the money, and you're not going to want to put in the work that's required. But if you're a student,
yes, absolutely,
yeah, if you're curious and you like it, you're just having a good time. You're doing the work and you don't even feel it. Hold on, that's Trump. He calls me like.
Oh, you're good.
Trump calls me a couple times a day. He wants to know about the tariffs. Well, how it's affecting us in Canada,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy, I tell you, what a bugger. No, I don't answer that phone. I don't know.
That's great. Oh, that's great. Well, tell Trump I said hey next time you talk to him.
I don't answer the phone. I'll call him back.
Tell him I lost my job. Tell him I lost my job because of it. But hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll call him back.
That'll work. But yeah, so back to the point on all that, you're absolutely right. I guess it's kind of like that old saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
And I look back on changing my major from finance over to cyber or IT or computer science or however you want to call it. I look back on that and I'm thinking, man, I had a lot of passion for that. And this, as I recall, just getting into this and just learning and everything, the passion is tenfold, right? Which is amazing for me because, and you can probably attest to this, at our age, finding passion in a lot of stuff is hard,
Yeah, you mean like being in the 30s?
Yeah, you feel me, right?
At our age.
So in that, just learning and whatnot. Well, the aha moment that we talked about on the chat there.
Oh yeah. Well, are you following ICT now? Is that what you're like? Are you leaning towards ICT?
Well, not really. And not that I don't want to bash anything. I mean, if
no,
it's funny to me how people follow a certain thing, and some people can be successful at following a certain thing, and others can't.
Yeah, I think it goes back again to what you said. passion for what you're doing and wanting to be a student and not doing it just for the money. The people who really like it put in the work and make it their own and find setups that work.
That's right.
The other people just try to carbon copy and don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand, you know, even the fact that they're in a game of probabilities. They don't know how often they're supposed to lose. You know, they don't know anything about the car they're driving. How about, let's put it that way.
Hey, you know? That's a good way to put it right there. A perfect way. They just know that they press the gas and it goes.
That's it. So they don't have confidence when, you know, even the slightest thing goes wrong. Or like right now, my opening drive play that I run the algo on, it's having a hard time. And yes, I run it on sim only, but I do jump in trades manually with it. I like to take it when it goes into a little bit of a drawdown because it is a wild algo. I mean, it'll go, you know, make 150 points, lose 100 points, but I know the equity curve. I know the probabilities. So I'm comfortable. I have no doubts it's going to pull itself out of the hole it's in, and it's green anyway since I started tracking it on the Discord. On the Discord, if you go look at my last entry, it's still red. But once I update it, I'm pretty sure I think it already recovered and it's green now because it had a 250 point day the other day. So that pretty well will wash away. And that's how it makes money. It catches some really big moves, but you're not going to get really big moves every single day, you know?
Right.
So
right.
because I put in the work, I know, and I'm confident and I'm comfortable with it. I know it's still a good system. But anybody who may have joined my Discord in the beginning, like let's say you, or I know OFT came in and he's looking at the results and he's probably, what the fuck is this garbage? Lose, win, lose. You know, like, okay. And after you see 6 days, 7 days like that, you throw it away. You never look back at it again. You know, because he hasn't done the work into it.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
That looks good.
It's interesting how it all...
OFT, come into the room. Come into Discord. Oh, you're still talking.
Lord. Hey, tell him to hurry up with his wee wop.
Yeah. No, he's still on his channel. I hear him. Unless
I love that guy.
But it's possible. Yeah, he's a cool guy. It's possible that my thing... No, he's off. I was going to say, I didn't go live. It's possible that I had a delay going. He was still talking there.
Oh, I gotcha.
OFT.
But yeah, man. So, you know, this whole strategy / aha moment / I call it the moon and stars. That's kind of where I'm at right here. And this particular, I guess, setup or whatever, you know, going back to just the basics, right? I was reading a book about, gosh, where's that book at? I can't even think of the name of it right now, but talks about different setups and what you can. I want to say this book is super old too, like written in the 2000s. I think I found it at a thrift store or a yard sale or something.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Well, one of my favorite books is written in the 90s by Linda Raschke, so I refer to that very often.
Yeah, and she's awesome too. I follow her on X, and you know, just it's cool to see that she kind of gives back a lot as far as knowledge, you know, in that sense, and not want thousands of dollars for it either, right?
Yeah, she's a quant also.
Yeah, absolutely,
definitely. You know, like that's the thing. You know, the way I trade is basically like a quant. I won't call myself a quant, but it's all on statistics and probabilities. So like, you know, people see me gunslinging and clicking and, you know, in and out 10 seconds. It just looks like I'm randomly clicking, but no, it's everything. Every click I do is based on a setup that's thoroughly tested and vetted, and you know, I know it inside out, and I know what the probabilities are of me even getting. Like I said, sometimes you'll hear me. There's a 70% probability this moves 7 points. You know, no one speaks like that. No one speaks like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me special.
Right.
It just means I did the research and I know with this pattern.
Yeah, and you understand exactly.
Yeah.
You know
when this exact price movement happens, I've seen it, and literally that 70% one has been tested now forward tested, live tested, 3,000 trades. So I am 100% comfortable in that statement. And it gives me such a peace of mind when I click the button, because I know I have a 70% chance that I'm going to see another 7 points, you know? So,
yeah, that's a big deal. I think that's a big difference from where I was and where I'm going towards in my career in this.
yeah,
is simply, obviously not blindly just jumping in on the low, right? And hopefully it goes up and whatnot. But it's a lot deeper than that when, like you said, doing the research and understanding, hey, if I jump in right here, this is the probability of this versus that. Am I willing to accept either one, right? In that sense. And if my reward's 5 points and my risk is 30 points, then obviously stay away from that one. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot. It goes deep, obviously, and you can go as deep as you want to go, it seems. But coming from a newbie, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah, you're still green. You're still green.
Yeah, yes, definitely green, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't know.
You haven't seen, and you don't know what you don't know, and you haven't seen everything yet. Like,
that's exactly
for
right,
instance, like this
where's that bridge? Yeah,
this kind of volatility. Okay, so now you have that under your belt. You've seen elevated volatility, so that's a notch in your belt. A little while ago, if you haven't seen this yet, this is a new thing. Now you've also seen a declining market. At some point we were rising. The new guys coming out, after 2 years of the market going up, they thought there was only one way up. They didn't know how to trade in a bear market. So yeah, you're lucky. You just saw a whole bunch of
I got
market environments. Like you just got a buffet of market environments. So that was good.
Exactly. Over the past 6 months, you look at it, and of course, right before the elections, right after the elections, and during Christmas, all that stuff kind of wrapped up in one. And I feel fortunate that I have been able to kind of experience those types of markets so fast. I've got notes for days on this and that and whatnot, and just the understanding of it and going through it is there's no replacement for on the job experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Chart time. Yeah.
And there's straight chart time. So, but yeah, I think my way of kind of doing things is obviously, I don't want to say much different than I guess anybody else, but at the same time, being a little bit older, I'm of course a lot more patient now, right?
Mm-hmm. Is that how it's supposed to work? Don't tell my family that's not working out with me so good.
Well, I think for me, because I've tried the hyper scalping is kind of what I call it. And not that I don't do that now. If a setup's there, then obviously I'm gonna take it. I'm not biased towards any particular type of trading in itself or any strategy. For the most part, right? I've got a few in my toolbox that I've developed and, learning and kind of perfecting to my abilities, right? But in this sense, this particular moon and star play, I guess, is more about, and it's probably not surprising to anybody that actually knows, but it's essentially just everything has to be lined up on the various, not indicators, but charts and stuff like that.
That's it.
Advanced decline, the tick values, the volume, all that stuff kind of wrapped up in one. And when it's all kind of lined up together, obviously the VIX and, the VIX of the VIX, right? The VVIX. I typically use that kind of stuff a little bit more when I am kind of hyper scalping, I guess. But for the bigger moves, I'll say this: I went from 22% up to, for the past 3 weeks, it's been up to 78%.
Okay.
So it's definitely a big swing, and the biggest thing that I've done is slowed down the frequency of my trading.
Yeah.
and waited for these plays to kind of play out. Whereas I would take, I don't know, 50, 75, 100 trades a day on the NQ or the MNQ rather.
Wow.
And
Look at you, eh?
yeah, and of course I had to really slow down. Again, ADHD is a bitch, dude. I'm telling you.
I didn't think there was a gunslinger more than I was, but
oh, dude, that was average.
You beating me.
Yeah.
I go up to 40, maybe 30, 40.
Oh, listen, but that was average, man. I was slipping and going and grinding, and some days I would be successful, and obviously some days I wouldn't, and I didn't really understand until I had the data to kind of scrum through and figure out on my own what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you good with taking your stops?
Yes. Yeah. So, I do the, what is it? The little auto stop thing or whatever
ATM,
it's called.
the automatic trade
Yeah.
management.
ATM. Yeah. Yeah. So it just pops it in there on my stop loss. I don't do a take profit, but I do know where the take profit needs to be.
Okay.
In that sense, right? And if it starts to stall out or something before then, and then my other charts and whatnot, the VIX is turning or the tick value is like dropping like crazy, then I'll go ahead and jump out, right? Because I know I can just buy back in if everything lines up again, versus holding it and letting it swing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I just buy in and go that one move all the way to the top where I'm set at a particular profit, whereas if I play the pullback right and then jump back in, that's more money in my pocket too, right? Or more on that sense. And there again, like I said, I don't really focus on the money side of it. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I've got it logged and whatnot, but I don't even pay attention to it as far as how much I've made and whatnot, But again, I think that's probably one of the reasons why, number one, I've stuck with it for so long, I guess, and not given up. And number two is why I've been even halfway as successful. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not like crazy successful by any means, but the aha moment is simply that it's not just about reading a candlestick and a chart and
oh no, so much more.
Yes, and the more I got into it, the more I started to realize that, hey, when this tick value starts dropping tremendously, it obviously has an effect on other things. And of course I've got Apple and stuff pulled up as well. I use Thinkorswim for my, I guess I call it the market breadth stuff, all of that stuff. And they've got a bookmap option in there where,
no kidding.
Bookmap, I want to say is like, golly, $100 or something a month or whatever. And I didn't want to swing that at this stage in my career. I wanted to kind of keep my junk low as far as what's going out, right? But they offer it's an older version. It's like a version behind, and it doesn't have as many features, but it's perfect for just seeing liquidity pools. If a bid's coming in, a big bid, various stuff, and it works extremely well for futures markets.
Yeah.
Not so much with stocks because the volume just isn't. I mean, unless it's something crazy, right? Some bigger market like Tesla or whatnot. But when it comes to what I was trading in stocks, it wasn't very, very beneficial to me. So I kind of threw it to the side. Well, started opening it back up and getting into it, and between my other charts that I have on Thinkorswim, which, like I said, is just the market breadth or whatever, kind of the brains of the whole operation, and adding bookmap into it, you really just start understanding. I just sit here and watch charts all day, not even trade, just watch and just try to learn how things move, what they do, why they do what they do, right? You know, not just how they move, but why is that thing moving like that, right? And then that opens up fundamental side of it, and the the stock or Trump in general. If Trump tweets something, it's game over for this crap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I've noticed that I'll have a strategy. My pre-market prep kind of thing is, hey, support and resistance line where it's at, whatever. And that works great. But if Trump texts something out or talks, that goes to the pot every morning, right? So, but I don't shy away from it. Obviously, I don't not do it by any means. So like I said, I go in and kind of make my trend lines and where I think it's going to go, so I have a basic understanding, but keep in the back of my head that always have the news up, right?
Yeah. But
so yeah, between
if you're in a trade, by the time you get it on the news, the shock to the market has happened already. We don't have the speed edge that others do on that.
No, not by any means. No. And speaking of, did you pay attention to the other day when was it day before yesterday when Trump was talking in that huge surge on the Nasdaq? It was
to the upside, right? The 1,000 points or whatever.
Yes, yeah, and all of those, what is it, a put? There's a put or
the options, put and calls, yeah.
Yeah, there was a butt ton of them like right before that. I forget. I have to find that X post.
Meaning that they make money on that move, right?
Yeah. And there was a lot of them kind of stacked up, but right before I guess he made that announcement or whatever. So like it was some kind of insider trading or something.
That is so funny that you say that, because I swear to God, it's like crazy. Now there's two coincidences. Now there's the Alabama, but I went with Texas, but Alabama was my first choice. As you were talking about Trump, my brain said, hey, Mike, make a joke about, I wonder if he tells anybody before he comes out and makes a tweet or says something. But then I said, I'm not gonna make that joke. And then look, like 40 seconds later, you come up with this. Yeah, crazy. Of course, all these things, all these events that move the markets. I've thought about it so much, like OPEC. Like if OPEC's going to come up with a big decision, shit, you don't think these guys are piling into the market because they know that it's going to dump the price of oil in the next 5 minutes or something like that? And they're not subject to any laws over there. Anybody, Putin. You think Putin can't come up with something and say, I'm going to start a war, or I'm going to end the war?
Gosh.
He knows that's going to move the markets. Okay, hold on. Don't make the announcement yet. I got to make a few trades.
Yeah, exactly. And just in that sense, it is to me, it's kind of frustrating. Like, man, that sucks, but I can't say that I wouldn't capitalize on a move like that either. I don't. I mean, not that is it wrong? Yeah, and I wouldn't do it in that sense. But if it was on the fence as far as being wrong and right, I don't know. Like, and I hate to say it like that.
No, come on. That's it. That's about as insider trading as you can get.
No, you're right. Absolutely.
That's about
it. And just looking at that. I don't know. It's just one of those situations where somebody needs to. I guess it's Doge, right? They need to do some investigating on that.
Well, you know what? They look at all the politicians, the senators, congressmen. I think it's more the senators. I'm not sure. Senators or the lawmaker. Who makes the deals? Maybe it's the senators make the laws. So maybe it's anyways, like Pelosi and all these. Again, senators, congressmen, they look at what their net worth was before they got into politics, what their salary is, and what their net worth is now. Okay, COFT, have a good weekend. Have a good supper also. I know you eat now. They look at their net worth and they say, okay, they came in with a net worth under $1 million. Their salary is $120,000, and then 10 years later, they're worth $95 million. They're better than any trader that's been known to mankind. And I remember I saw it on one of the news stations, probably Fox, because most likely it would be Fox that would talk about this. And they said, not only that, but look at their stock trading before they were in politics and after they were in politics. Before they were in politics, they were an average Joe. They did like everybody else. Then they come into politics, and they never have a year less than 125% return. Like, okay, you know?
Yeah. No, and it's mind blowing that it's not under the magnifying glass more than it is.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like, you know, I love America. You know, Alabama, who wouldn't? I mean, anybody from this place is pro-Trump, and you know, not to say anything against the other side. I'm not a big politician type person and whatnot, but I love my country, and I would like to have the satisfaction of knowing that who I did vote for, regardless of what position and where, that they wouldn't take advantage of that position in that sense, you know. And it's sad to say that I don't know many that probably haven't, you know.
It's tough. It's tough. It's a big cookie jar. And, you know, I've asked that question also many times of myself, you know. From the outside, you don't want them doing it. But if you were on the inside and, you know, like, I don't think there's a lot of people that wouldn't dip their hand in the cookie jar because it's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's too easy to the point of, well, gosh, all I got to do is this.
Yeah. You know, you become...
all I'm saying is put it more under a microscope and at least look at it from a Doge standpoint, right? You know, let's do some investigating on this as to why it's so easy. Number one, and it's obvious. I guess people talk or whatever.
Well, you gotta have the contact. If you have the right contacts, and you know how it's gonna, and you know the process, you're going, hey, you call up your brother or your wife's brother. Open this company up, submit this form, write that this is what your business purpose is. We're going to send you a check for $30 million because it's about environment or whatever, or who knows what. You got to hire two people. Hire two people for a year, and then make the money disappear and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, either that or go to a beach somewhere, right?
Yeah, so, you know, they figured out the process. That's what I'm saying. Like, who wouldn't do it when you see it happening and you see that it's so easy? You say, you know, like, fuck off. It's not regulated, and it's just there, so.
Yeah, you know, it's like the Trump thing when back when they were talking about him not paying taxes.
Oh, God, that was so stupid. If there's a tax loophole, you take advantage of it. Who's going to go to their accountant and say, hey, can you find a way for me to pay more taxes? I really want to pay more taxes. Right. Does anybody do that? That's just nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know that anybody says, nah, I better just, let me just not work that loophole.
Yeah,
just pay the full price.
Yeah, no, this way will.
Doing that crap.
You mean I could save money with it? No. Yeah, don't do that one. Don't do that. Hey, Mr. Accountant, is there a way I could pay you more also? Like, instead of paying you your fee, can I double it? I'd like to do that as well. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, these arguments are so, some of them are just so asininely stupid, you know?
Yes, absolutely. You know, but, you know, some people are, I'll just leave it at that. Some people are.
Some people are, and I can finish that sentence for you because they're in my family. Even though we're in Canada, there are some people are. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it kind of is what it is, I guess. But you know, no. As far as the trading stuff, right? And if I could go back and tell myself this 6 months ago, and when I first started riding down this road, it wouldn't be, hey, you need to go with this strategy. It wouldn't be, hey, you need to to focus on this particular part, it would be, for me, I would have told myself probably build your foundation your way. And don't listen to anybody else, and don't talk to anybody else about it until you at least wrap your head around that phase one, right? And then once you wrap your head around it, then you can kind of go out and explore and, okay, what strategies work for other people? What works for this person versus that person? In that same book that I was telling you about, they talk about the strategies and the personality of the way the person is, right? Their personality fits a certain strategy, and that's why they may be good at that strategy versus, in your sense. Boy, that was a little pop there.
Yeah, and I just got caught on the wrong side of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. But yeah, just your character can really dictate, and your personality can really dictate and affect how you trade. And I didn't think that was the case. I didn't think that there was a big difference in that. I just thought, hey, it's on paper, it's right there. And it's, when people say that trading there's a lot of mentality involved, and if you're mentally weak in a certain area, then you need to work on that. And I think that goes along the lines of, that would be the first thing that I had to realize, is simply, if I'm irritated at a loss, or I drop $100 or something on a trade, instead of jumping back in and trying to make my money back, I had to pause and go back and review the trade and take notes and go from there. I don't take notes. I mean, I don't make another trade until I take my notes and I learn from the last trade.
Okay.
Now, that was not the case by any means.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was taking 100+ trades a day. It was game on, dude. Well, I had to buy a new mouse. My mouse was broke.
That's it. I mean, when you're taking, that's the one thing, like, I know you need to journal, you need to review your trades, but when you're so active, it's hard. It's like, it's different than when a person takes 2 trades a day. You can sit back, you can review your trade inside out, but
that's right.
Not when you're taking that many trades. It becomes a little more difficult. At that point, you have to review your process and, just how well you followed the rules, how well you took your stops, how good were your executions? Did you chase? Did you FOMO? Did you become impulsive? It's those kinds of things that you got to monitor. But you sound like you're on the right path. You sound like you're doing everything kind of the right way. I mean, like, there's nothing there that you said that, in my opinion, is, you sound like you're on the right path.
Well,
give yourself a pat on the shoulder.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. It's reassuring to.
It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor.
No, you're right.
Let's throw in that disclaimer. You need to consult the advice of a financial advisor and trade on demo, please, because 90% of traders lose money. But if I were to, like if my sons were following the same path, and yes, I think what you're doing is the right mindset, and is the right.
Yeah, it's definitely reassuring, right? And as humans, we all want reassurance, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, and we may not say that we want it this way or that way, but at the end of the day, everybody wants assurance, to an extent, right?
But here's the problem. Like you said, 80% of the game is between your ears. It's your mentality. It's your really, that's 80% of the game. It's not your setup. It's not your exit. It's how, you can have the best setup in the world, but if you're, if you're just not following the rules, just doing whatever you want to do, even though you have all the rules right in front of you, you'll screw up. You won't do well. It's like, you were talking about Linda. She gives away her stuff. Yeah, because she knows that 990 people out of 1,000 won't be able to follow it anyway. So even if you even if you give them the keys to the castle, they won't turn they won't turn the key properly. They'll screw up. They'll either bail on it
Absolutely.
after a loss, or they'll modify it, and their
Yep.
discipline will get in the way. So, yeah.
You know, that's talking about another, reminds me of now I do follow these guys on YouTube. Apart from my futures floor guy, and then my OFT guy, and I think there's one more I'll follow. But
Joker.
the SMB, yeah, Joker.
Oh, S&B
The
Capital. Are
SMB
you kidding
trading,
me?
yeah, yes, dude.
Yeah,
Listen,
Bella, Mike
that's where it's
Belfiore,
at for me.
Steve Spencer is a trading legend, and they had the futures guy there, Merritt. I think it was Merritt Black. He's now he has his own prop firm now. And Lance Breitstein,
Yeah.
or Lance Breitstein, or whatever. No, anything these guys say is gold. Oh, I was telling you also.
Yeah.
I think I was telling you about that also. But check out their old videos. Their old videos are better.
Oh, you know, I was about to say that the older stuff that they came out with is a gold mine.
It is. It is.
You know, not just for new guys, but seasoned guys.
Anybody,
too, right?
anybody.
You know, yes, and we're
I was
always learning. But
yeah, I was saying the other day.
Go ahead.
I was saying the other day that the book that Bella wrote there, the playbook. Well, he wrote two: One Good Trade and the playbook.
We'll have to check that out.
You have to, absolutely. The playbook is it just puts you on the right path. It just lays out exactly what you have to do, and it covers it. He doesn't purposely cover psychology, but everything he lays out. What's the word? Prevents the psychological errors from getting into place, because he's so focused on process that even if you have psychological problems, if you follow what he tells you, you're going to be following a process to the T.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, no, that book is fantastic. You definitely have to get that book, the playbook.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, by far. I mean, I give that my. I know I was mentioning it the other day, and I think it was Woodchip was in the room, and he was talking about the Mark Douglas book, Trading in the Zone, I think, and he says that's the Bible. I said, yeah, that is a Bible, and I've read it. I've read it even a few times, but I find he doesn't really provide solutions as well as Bella does, because Bella doesn't even really talk about the psychology aspect of it, but it's a solution. It's a solution to all the problems. So I find it a much more impressive book to get through those problems. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, so the SMB, I forget which one was saying this, but apparently his strategy, one of his strategies or whatever, and he dubbed it a particular name. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it kind of got released out into the wild, like the public or whatever. And at first he lost sleep over this. He was like, man, you know, now everybody's going to be trading this setup, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And then he kind of just obviously looked at it and really kind of analyzed it or whatever. And he said, 1,000, it's just like you said, 1,000 people can have this exact same strategy and this exact same flow and whatever. And 950 of them won't be able to execute it properly. And the other 10 of them, 20 of them is going to trade it a particular way, not exactly like mine. So there's so much room out there for improvement for all of that, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, it's just interesting how the character and the personality of the person has an effect on how this is how you trade, you know. And I think that's probably another thing that I had to get wrapped around my head, because I'm always used to what's in front of me, the data, right? And that's it, coming from the background. And once I realized that, it took my whole thought process, and I had to revamp. I feel like I had to rewire a few things in my head, right? But nevertheless, learning from my shortcomings as far as, you know, be a little bit more patient, let stuff develop, let everything align the way it should, and then you know, when you feel 100% confident, like there's no reason why I should not take this trade, then you go big, right? And,
yeah. You'll get that from Bella all the time. Trade more size in your A+ setups. Stop wasting your time in the B trades and in the C trades, and you'll get that also from Lance Breitstein. You know Lance? Have you seen videos from Lance?
So I like all those guys.
Yeah, well, you know, anything Lance is telling you isn't nonsense. So you know, you can follow it. And he has an expression. He says, "Play the broken slot machines." That's something that he says often. You know, play the broken slot machines. And and I was talking about it before on stream before you were in the Discord room. I'm saying there's a word. What's that word when everything is aligned? And I was saying it's not confluence. I got the word when I went on break. Agreement. When everything is in an agreement. Like sometimes I have my algo is short, the 1 minute chart is long, one of my top step charts is short, the other one is long, and I say to myself, what do I do now? Because if I look at one chart, I can go short, and if I look at the other chart, I can go long. And, you know, well, my kid screams out to me, sit on your hands, do nothing. Yeah, wait. When you wait for everything to be in agreement, you're trading the broken slot machine. Your probabilities are higher. Now, it doesn't go from 60% to 99%, but your edge does get a little bit of a boost, definitely, when everything is in agreement.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I think that's where I'm at. And just trying to slow things down, you know, and just trying to, you know, the market will be there. And I had a bad problem with, I guess they call it FOMO or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to get in on this thing. Let's go, you know. And
that was plaguing me also for a bit.
Yeah, and I did that once in my life, or like I've got a long life in this, but I've done that once that actually worked out in my favor. Out of the 50 times, right? Probably even way more than that when I was trading stocks. I forget the name of the stock.
Funny.
It went from like $2 up to, God, it was 40 or 50 or something like that.
Okay.
And made an absolute killing on that one. And but all the other ones that I lost an absolute killing, you know, you have to look at the data and realize, hey, don't be dumb, kid. You know, you really gotta sit here and look at your probabilities, your risk rewards. There's so much stuff to look at. I tell you, the play that I've been probably more successful with than anything, apart from everything else that I look at being in agreement. I start out, and it's simply this: I'll just start out and wait for in the morning time for the first 30 minutes or so. You know, everybody talks about this orb setup and whatnot, and I don't know much about it. I haven't investigated it that much, but I've just been playing off the inside bar.
On what time frame?
At the bottom. I run it on the 5 minute.
You do, yeah.
And then so I'll run it on the 5 minute time frame, but when I see it forming, I'll jump down to the 1 minute to find the right entry for that.
Oh, so you mean you'll see an inside bar form and close on the 5 minute, and then you go and look for an entry on the 1 minute.
Yeah, so I get a better, more precise, you know, entry.
But you don't know yet which side it'll break out of. You don't know if it'll break out.
That's right.
So you're kind of guessing.
Well, in that sense, if I guess on the bottom, now this is one part of this play. Say for instance, on the NQ at the 10. Let's see. Where's it at? I didn't take it, but okay. Well, okay, here's a perfect one. So on the 1 minute chart at 10:08
today,
10:07, 10:07.
Okay,
there was 10:07. Yep, that's it. The little doji top. I guess some people call it a hammer or whatnot. Yeah, right there in the middle of your screen almost.
Okay, yeah. 10:07.
Yeah,
this one here. Oh, no, not that one. No. Oh, right. Yep, okay, this one right there. Yeah. Does this show me the time? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Right there, yeah.
All right, go back. Yep, go back one more, two more, right in there on the 1 minute right there.
Yeah.
Yep, right just to the left of that. On that 1 minute, right, no, you're good right there. The little candle. Yep.
It's true, you're on
Right
an 8-second delay. Do you know how that
Oh
screws
yeah,
me
that's
up?
right. I keep forgetting that. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
damn.
because the audio is live, but the video that you're seeing is 8-second delay. Sometimes when I talk to Joker, he's talking about swing highs, and I'm saying, wait, what do you mean swing high? Your arrow is at the bottom. I said, shit, no, I gotta count to 8 and wait to see where his cursor is gonna be. It's totally
yeah. Boy, that screw somebody up, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Oh Lord. But no, that particular candle at 10:07. I started kind of looking at it, and I'm not looking for this huge, 100,000 point move, which would be great, obviously. But that particular candle there on the 1 minute, it's almost an inside. Let's see, 10:05, 10:06. Yeah, the 10:07 bar or the 10:07 candle on the 1 minute. On my 1 minute, it's a green candle. But yours at 10:06, man, your 10:06 looks different than my 10:06.
No, it's still. I'll open it up. It's still. I got that. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Excuse me. Let me get rid of this drawing here. Drawing. Remove all drawings. You'll see it better. Yeah. Well, it's right on the previous day's close, so we can't see. But I can see that it's blue. They're all bullish candles.
Yep. Okay, never mind. I see it now.
Yeah.
I was looking at one over. Yeah, so right around in there, I was like, okay, what's going on there? So I wanted to look at it because it obviously looked like it was running into that previous resistance back at 9 after maybe an hour after open, give or take. And the bottoms right at the open at 8:30. It looked like there was a lot of stuff there. So I looked at Bookmap, and sure enough, there was a lot of support right there. So between that and just kind of letting it run up, I would have taken a trade in that spot and put my stop loss obviously underneath the bottom wick candle at what, 350-ish, give or take, and just let it run up. And I would take my profit around probably 430,
Okay.
440, give or take, and just kind of let it run. But that's if I'm kind of hyper scalping, right? Because that's on a 1 minute chart. If you go over to the 5 minute chart, it's not there. That setup isn't there, that I see anyways, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. If it was there an inside bar though on the 5 minute chart at that time, or
no? Yeah, no. So, and that's the thing, right? So if I have to fight the urge to not stay on my 1 minute chart and look for stuff and just run off of that. Because if I feel like if I do that, and my numbers for me, my numbers on a 1 minute.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. He's the one that pointed me into the inside bar on the NQ, the first inside bar. That's where I first heard it from, and then I asked him if. Oh, I just asked him if he's doing it off the 5 minute or the 1 minute. He said he does it off the 5 minute, And but I did it off the 1 minute. The 5 minute, you know, even if you're using the candle, the candle, you know, just that one candle, you're not even, you know, let's say today the inside bar on the 5 minute chart was the 9:55 to 10 o'clock candle. Yeah, and then we broke it to the low. So if you're using just that candle, the high of that, we broke it to the downside, which is 549, and the stop would be at 629. I mean, that's a huge stop, 7. If you use the swing high, it's 649. It's 100 points. So the 5 minute, if you know, like exactly, I would use the 1 minute because I would rather have a smaller stop than 100 points on a trade. That almost pretty much makes or break your day if you're trading conservative. If you're a gunslinger, no, but if you're a conservative trader, you know, you almost have to close down your account after 100 points. You're down $200. That's 100%. Yeah, it's your phone. But that's not a rumor. That's confirmed already. There's even a setting. Yeah. Oh boy, I do. I'm as stubborn as yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm, mm-hmm.
It's for a greater good for me. It goes a lot deeper than just charts on or candlesticks on a chart and me just making money. It's so much deeper than that for me, and that's just the way I am, the kind of person that I am as far as how I learn, how my brain works, right?
Yeah. You're using prop firms, right?
Yeah, I started, so at the beginning when I was trading stocks, I used my,
Yeah.
funded my own stuff or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to say that I've moved over to futures, but because I still trade pre-market stocks.
Okay.
But the fun, believe it or not, I have a whole lot more fun. And it's kind of hard to say that, really, I guess, because I have so much fun just trading stocks and I enjoy it so much. But futures is more, obviously, more live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Higher adrenaline. Higher adrenaline.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's more like a sprint sometimes, and it's cool. And well, especially in this market with everything being as volatile as it is, I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm soaking it up. I'm learning. You know, you guys, hats off to you guys for the video or just starting a channel, man. That's just the coolest thing for me is just to watch you guys and listen and get a different perspective, because there again, for 5 months I didn't do that on purpose, and now I can appreciate it a lot more because I at least know what you're talking about when you say the word VWAP, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, I don't know. It's everybody does their own thing, and I get that.
But you know, I was gonna cut you off. But once you have your foundation, which it sounds like you do, YouTube is a great place to find ideas. You know, to look into other styles of trades, like you were talking about SMB and the one guy that was stressing that his system got out there. I don't remember that video, but hold on a minute. There was another video where they were talking about, and they were giving Linda Raschke credit for a MACD system, and they gave all the rules for the system. And, you know, there's a guy, Marty, from the Moving Average. I mean, I won't say, you know, I'm not going to give, he's nowhere up there like SMB. But they all have, you know, they all talk about their techniques and stuff, and it's a great starting point for you to just try and see. Does it fit your personality? Yeah. Do you think you can make it into a trade? You know, it's like Bella at SMB. He says you have to try everything, and you have to see what's good for you. You know,
that's right.
You have to try everything. So you gotta test everything out and see if what they say is valid, and see if it interests you. You know, like I listen to a lot of ICT people, but I don't look into it because it's not for me. It's just the analysis is just way too in depth. You know, I feel like I need a supercomputer beside me just to tell me which trade to take. You know, we're now on this. Now we're on the 15-minute fair value gap, or the 1 hour, the weekly fair value gap, the weekly new. Like, there's so many lines and levels. Hey guys, if you put so many levels on the chart, one of them is going to be valid. You know, I can draw 30 lines on the chart and say, look, line number 17 is now giving. Yeah, but that's not to put it down, because if you know what you're doing and you know how to frame a trade and you figure out which ones you like, you can make it. You don't take them all. You have, let's say, your favorite ones, maybe the first fair value gap of the day, or, you know, once you set all this up, you're golden. So it just all depends on me. I don't want to do, hey Alex, me oh my god. Did you just see the chat?
Yeah.
Break even day. Yeah, I got killed in the in that rush up there at 11 o'clock. I was short. It took $1,000 out of my account. I was up 500. It brought me down 500. Alex, he wrote good morning with a heart. That's my son, by the way.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's my son. It's my son. So and he used to trade beside me. I don't know if you heard the story, like right beside me on the desk.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had I had a screen, you know, the both of us were on it, and break even day in PA and 400 on Bulenox funded. Okay, good job. So yesterday I was on the he was in the chat. I'm back in positive. Hey, good job, Al. He was in the chat room, and OFT was there. So I said, and he's at his girlfriend's house, right? Just to put in perspective, he's not here in the house. So I said, Alex, Alex, I miss the days when you were beside me over here. Beside me, something like that. And OFT goes, he made a joke. He goes, one time it's not gay, but after a few times, it kind of is. I didn't get it at first because I don't remember what I said, and I know it's my son. But then I like played
Yeah.
back. What did I just say? Oh my God, I just said to Alex, I miss the days when you're beside me, you know? I said, no, OFT, that's my son. I have twin boys, you know,
Great.
but he never met him, so I guess he
Great.
didn't know. Yeah, that was funny.
That's great. That's funny.
He felt
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so like
Well,
Alex.
that's pretty cool though. You know, it's a so both of your sons trade or just Alex?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay,
And
that's awesome.
they're pretty
That
much
is
into
great.
ICT. Alex tried his hand
Okay.
at scalping, but they're pretty much into ICT, and they've made it their own, and they have their setups. They don't, you know, it's not like they don't follow exactly to the T ICT theory. It was a what? It was a direction that it put them in, you know, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
took the theory and tried to make
They
it their
ran
own.
with
And,
it. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the way it has to be done.
Yeah, you know, yeah, and I think, you know, touching on that point, it's one of those situations in this. It's, and there again, I've come from a background of cyber computers, nerd crap, you know, all that stuff, and what's there is there. You know, troubleshooting a computer problem or some code is what it is. You know, there's no crazy outliers, but in trading, there's so many different things that are relevant to various styles. You have to find your own way, like I said. And if not, then, and if you're just going to copy and paste somebody or whatnot, you will fail.
Yeah.
Period. Right. You know, and I hate it, but you know, and this Gen Z thing or whatever. No offense, Alex. But my son is 20 now, and this dude, you know, they want everything right now. You know, they have no patience. They want it now. Not everybody, but you know,
most of them, and I blame it on cell phones. Cell phones.
I agree, 102%.
Have trained this generation to have the attention span of I don't know, like 10 seconds, 12 seconds. I see kids listening to music. It's like, can you listen to the whole song? Like, I don't see anybody listening to music now for more than 20 seconds, and they change the song.
Oh, I know it.
I said, yeah, guys, you know the song is the song is 3 minutes
long.
More
than that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to.
But yeah, it's crazy. And I think that's kind of what's drawn me to it so much is I can make this my own. I've got my way, you know, Alex has his way, you've got your way. Everybody has their way, and it's those that have their foundation and then can actually take into consideration what other people are doing and apply that to your own strategy in whatever way, right? Those are going to be the real successful guys. I think that's where it's at, you know. If you're going to make something lifelong out of this, it's so much deeper than, like you said, 10-15 second music video or listening to something and switching the channel. You know, it just goes deeper than that. But yeah, it's just kind of where I'm at, man. I'm in a good place mentally. My wife says, and I don't know where to take this, good or bad, but my wife says day trading has saved our marriage.
No kidding.
Yeah. Listen, I was in a bad place, man. I would be the first to admit it. I was grumpy. I was just in a bad place mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of mental disorder, I guess you could say. Like when I say ADHD, it's a little bit deeper than that. But you know, I coined it for that particular reason, because if I say all the words with it, I'd probably scare everybody off. But long story short, I just trying to do this with that mental anguish or whatever, and I don't know, it's so hard to even put into words how much better I feel, and just the complete change mentally when I started really getting into day trading. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I mean, maybe some doctor somewhere could or whatnot, but it just works for me. It clicks for me. Even more so than my cyber career, which I was very successful in. Made a good living off of it. It's afforded me to now kind of just hang out and learn this 100%. Because you and I both know there'd be no way that I could do this if I had to depend on this money. 100%, and or start out rather that way. Having that looming in your back of your head, oh, I got to make this money, or my kids ain't going to eat next month.
Yeah,
right?
no, that you can't do that. If you're in that situation, if you have a gun to your head, you won't be. You'll start taking trades you shouldn't take. You're not going to take your losses because I can't take a loss because I need the money. I can't take this loser, and then you're hoping it comes back and it gets worse. Yeah, no, that's not the right frame of mind to be in. But no, I was just saying I was surprised because most spouses are not supportive of people getting, their husbands getting involved in trading. That's they talk about it. It's one of the things they talk about. That expect you're going to get a hard time from unless you're bringing in suitcases of money. But in the beginning, you're not going to be bringing in suitcases of money. And then again, that's the thing why again I say the prop firms are great because they give everybody an opportunity to try, but without putting $5,000 into an account and having to explain why you lost $5,000. Or with the U.S. with the day trading stocks, it's the PDT rule. It's $25,000.
Yep.
So it's even more.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was in such a bad place. Seriously. Of course, my wife, she's a rock star, dude. Seriously, she's like, I know I wouldn't be able to do this without her support.
So you're going out today and you're going to get her flowers, just a few, just a small little bouquet, just to say I appreciate you.
Listen, the first week that I came, or that I was green, which, I say first week because that's a lot of days in conjunction together, right?
Yeah.
The first week was, I guess, 3 weeks ago, give or take, and I took her out to eat. And listen, I don't want to get bashed or anything, but me and my wife go out to eat once a year, and that's for our anniversary.
Okay.
So I took her out to eat, and man, she was all excited and pumped up.
Yeah.
You must have had a good week, and blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But no, it's it was good to kind of get out of the house. I'll say that because listen, I'm a homebody too, right?
Yeah.
Other than church and the occasional up the road on my 4-wheeler or something, I don't go nowhere. I don't have a reason to. That's just kind of just get out of the house to be getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Used to play a lot of golf, but maybe I'll get back into that when it warms up a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, mentally, I was in a bad place, and my wife knew it, and I knew it, and it was just causing some, not really marital problems by any means. It was more of just depression problems and stuff like that. And finding this, seriously, my wife will attest to you. It probably, and she made the comment afterwards, probably not just our marriage, but probably saved your life too, right? And I know that may sound cliche or whatever, but it just works, man.
Well, I don't know.
Even if I've lost plenty of money already. Now I'm to the point where if I am down $500, then it's not. It's part of it, right? It's figuring out how you lost it and why you lost it, number one, and then try not to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
And of course, my biggest thing was simply holding on to stuff too long, right? Of course, that probably everybody's, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to learn how to take losses. And
moving that stop loss down and moving it down and and it's like, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing here? So, but had I went through that or learned that at the beginning of this, 4, 5, 6 months ago, I would have been farther along. But it's like I said earlier, man, I'm stubborn as a mule. I got to learn the hard way. I'm one of those cats that, if you can tell me that thing's gonna shock you if you touch it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna listen. I'm gonna touch it, and if it does shock me, then I'm not gonna do it because I'm an idiot.
I'm worse than that. I'm worse than that. I'm not only gonna touch it, but I'm gonna say, because it happened one time, it's not statistically valid. I gotta try 3 times.
That's right. I gotta have a ratio here.
I gotta prove it's not a coincidence. Maybe it was a coincidence. I gotta test it again.
Yeah.
Great. No, you gotta hit me over the head with a hammer multiple times for me to believe it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and and I think that may have something to do with our male genes or whatever, or testosterone or something. Hell, I don't know. But
I don't know. I think
it's the exact opposite.
I think it's a good. People think I'm crazy, but I think it's a good attitude to have, because then I'm more certain about the information that I have.
Oh, that's right. Absolutely. I know that I know. And when I was a kid, I had somebody told me that two things in life: don't sweat the small stuff, and form your own opinion, and make your own decisions on what. Listen to other people. Don't ever not listen to them, but do your own research, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then you form it.
Yeah, and I live by that 100%.
And I'm gonna I want to throw one ingredient. I want to throw one ingredient into that recipe. And don't care about what other people think.
Oh my gosh, ain't that the truth?
That's one aspect that I try to instill in my kids from the beginning, all the times. Don't care. There's 8 billion people on this planet. There's always going to be a certain small percentage of people who don't like what you're doing, no matter what you do.
That's right.
If you do the good thing, the right thing, the embarrassing thing, the not embarrassing thing, there's always someone that's going to have a critical eye on it out of 8 billion people. So it doesn't matter. You're not changing anything, It's like, oh my God, what are they going to, who cares what they're going to think? Because right now, you're not doing it. There's other people who are thinking something somewhere. So who cares? Don't even stress. And what does it give you anyways?
Absolutely.
The only time you need to care about what somebody thinks is when you're applying for a job. Then you need to worry about what the person thinks because you want the job. But other than that, I mean, really, seriously, Yeah, your wife, when you're dating, but obviously your family, certainly, that's not it doesn't mean rule everybody out, but you know what I mean. Don't worry about what the neighbors are going to think and what the uncle's going to think about, if you, whatever, just go do what you want to do what makes you happy and what you think is right. And don't worry about what other people think.
Right. Yeah, there's so much belief behind that and so much truth, right? And I don't know. There again, some people just are different than others, And there again, it goes back to, learn this craft. If you're gonna get into it, learn this craft your own way, and that long term, you'll be way better off for it, right? But I get into the technical side of it only because there again, my background, but also the mental side of it for me is God, it's more important than the technical side for me. And that's not to say, listen, I love watching Joker kind of explain and go through how he charts out something.
Well, his analysis, I was going to say, his analysis is fantastic. I mean, it's deep. And you serve yourself better. You can learn a lot.
Yeah,
you serve yourself better by being in his channel rather than being in my channel and just seeing me click buttons. I'll say it 1,000 times. It's true. He has a thorough analysis and it's much better guidance. My style of trading is really not it's not for a lot of people, and I don't explain it really well. You don't really see you don't even see all my charts that are making all the decisions off of, and they're so rapid fire. So they're really not I like the streaming aspect of it, and Woodchip has told me also, I should slow it down. Take all my active trades maybe off screen so people don't see it, and just take a couple of trades off the 5 minute. And I'm considering doing that. And I can explain those trades.
Yeah,
Maybe just the algo.
sure.
Just take the algo trades. I'm aware of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Joker's a great analyst, and he really puts in the work. So yeah, no.
yeah,
If you're into
absolutely. You know, and
ICT, if you're into ICT, yeah, no, that's definitely the place to be. That rhymes.
well, that's right. That's everybody talks about it, and I've kind of dabbled, or I guess watched a few videos. Maybe I haven't, like I said, no real research. Just, hey, what is this all about, kind of stuff, right? But it there's a lot of interesting concepts and just how money flows and all of that other stuff that's involved with it. Anytime,
I'm not sure if
even
I
if
buy
I'm
into
not
all that.
actually, well, no, and that
That sounds like a little bit of.
kind of
I
I
was
think
saying,
that's some juju going on. Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit of who knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on under the hood here with the markets. Who's selling and
Right.
why, and but
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
way
no,
to
I get
it's a way to frame a trade and find a way to frame a trade. I like the inverted fair value gaps. I don't know if you came across that yet. That's
I
when
don't-
that's like when
I have not actually.
that's like when a fair value gap gets taken out in the opposite direction. So if you have a bearish fair value gap, and then you get a candle to close above that bearish fair value gap, they call it an inverted fair value gap. So, if you
Interesting.
find a significant level, like a lot of people were looking at the double bottom today at 10:30. So, let me put the 1 minute chart is up. So how they would do it is they would look for the most recent fair value gap, the bearish one. Let's say off the double bottom. So here's your double bottom. They see a double bottom forming. I know there's bearish fair value gaps over here, so they would look for a candle to close above one, maybe this last one right here, and then they would go long. I like that theory. Again, I mean, I think it's got some validity to it. So it's just you find the ones that that work for you and give you setups, and it fits your risk profile depending on how far away the stop is going to be, and
Yeah.
that's all. Here's actually a perfect example. Let's say right here on the 1 minute, it's the most recent one, the fair value gap. This is the most recent bearish fair value gap. It's marked off with the box. So this candle closes above it. So that's your entry. Now I'm not sure. I know the guy who because we were able to close through it or above it, not just wick it. So it's what do they call it? I think they say at that point it's mitigated or whatever. That's language. Yeah. So in the most recent bullish fair value gap, I have marked with the box. So you'd be watching for a close below this, and until you get a close below that, you maintain a bullish bias. Again, it's just a way to frame a trade and stuff.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, and well, it's like you said. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong way on any of that.
No,
I do think some of
there's not.
the ideology behind it can be a little construed.
Yeah, but
like as to why. Right?
You don't need the why. You don't need the why.
That's right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But in looking at it, I wanted to understand the whys behind it. Why is that moving like that? So I did my deep dive and figured out my own certain way that I feel like it's sometimes this and sometimes I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, really.
Yeah, and how do you know if you're right?
Yeah, I mean, who's going to confirm that, right?
And what does it change anyways? Seriously, what does it change anyways?
Completely irrelevant, right? As long as you buy a stock either low or high and it goes in the opposite direction or it goes in the direction that you want, then that's kind of what matters, right? Yeah. And it's my son, it's funny, your son is into it as well. That's awesome. But my son, like I said, is 20 now. We've been talking a little bit about it, and he's kind of dabbled and messed with it, and he's kind of got my brain when it comes to that sense. But I can see with him, he's very hyper and wants to really get into it, and he would probably take more trades than I took in a day. Yeah, he's crazy,
Not the
crazy like
wise,
that.
not the
But
wisest thing in the beginning, and I would say just because it's hard to learn from your trades that way.
yeah, absolutely. You know, and just trying to help him, I guess, understand and wrap his head around how I know the type of person that he is, how to, you know, kind of guide him in a little bit of a different direction or whatever. And he's kind of getting there. He's he's doing the paper trading on, I think it's Trading View or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what you have to do. You got to start off with that. And I remember there was a video, ICT was talking to his son, and he said, take one trade in the morning. I'm not saying you should take one trade, but take one trade
Right.
in the morning, take one trade in the afternoon. That's all you need. I just bring that up because, yeah, in the beginning, if you're learning, it's going to be too hard to learn if you're taking so many trades. You're not going to learn. I don't think you can learn if you're
Yeah.
machine gunning the markets, because you don't know
Yeah.
what worked and what didn't work, and you're not going to go over 80 trades. You're just not.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
much. It's too much. It's longer to go over the trade than it is to take the trade. You know, I take a trade here.
Yes.
Sometimes they last 10 seconds. If I were to go over the trade after in the evening, probably take me 3 minutes. Why did I get in?
Yeah,
Where did
absolutely.
I get in? You got to bring up your executions, plot where you got in, where you got out, and you got to try to figure out. Then you're going to look at the other chart. Oh my God, it's like, you know. So you can't go.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spend 3 minutes reviewing 80 trades. So yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's a little. That's a lot in the beginning. It's going to be hard to learn from.
I'll say this. For me, I've been doing this, like I said, going on 6 months now, and this might blow your mind. So hold on to your seat. I've never paper traded.
Okay. Wow.
Ever. Yeah, never paper traded. I started out, like I said, in stocks, and I would do one share of a dollar stock or something like that, right? And I would, you know, I went the whole gamut, right? Scanners, set up everything, did everything I could, you know, understanding that that's what I could, right? And then, like I said, I would just take, you know, one share on a trade. If a particular stock had a news catalyst or whatever, and, you know, a few other criteria that I kind of learned from some books or whatever, and kind of applied it. And like I said, I was super successful at the very beginning until my brain got in the way, right?
Yep, that's what happens. That is what happens.
But yeah, I've never paper traded ever. Now I've back tested. I've done a lot of back testing stuff with Thinkorswim, which not a big fan of that platform. It's very powerful, but it's not very intuitive.
Okay, yeah.
So there was a big learning curve in that, as far as the ThinkScript stuff that I wanted to do and whatnot. Which, like I said, I use it daily now, as far as just for my market breadth. But, you know, trading, obviously, I'm either in a prop firm now. My stocks are in. I've got a Cobra account, broker, and then also my Thinkorswim. My Thinkorswim's more, I kind of keep my longer term stuff in there, and then on Cobra I kind of do more of the day trading, actual execution in there with some other software or whatever. But yeah,
Cobra was good.
I like. Yeah, it's good. Fast. I mean, great feels, especially on the like momentum trading, like day trading, like just a stock or whatever. Like, probably, I don't think you can get any worse feel. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, and of course, you need that in that sense when you're doing that style of trade or whatnot. But as far as my future stuff, I've just been using. I did a Take Profit Trader and the Futures Desk, I think it's the name. And I really like the Futures Desk. They're more expensive, but they've got a lot of all the journaling and everything in there. So I don't know. It's really cool. The platform that they use is great.
Okay, that's the one by
It's Platform X.
Yeah, it's the one by The Fivers, no? Trade the Desk, I think it's called. It's a stock prop firm.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is that the one you're talking about?
No. This one is for futures. It's called the Futures Desk.
Okay.
You need to check it out, man. It is a little bit more expensive. I think I want to say I got a 50K account. Well, they don't even do that 50K crap, because I mean, are you really getting a 50K account?
No, it's ridiculous. I don't even know they can throw any number on that. It's a $1 account. It's a 50K account. It's a $400 trillion account. No, it's not. It's an account with $2,500 drawdown. That's what it is.
That's exactly. Yeah, you're paying for the drawdown.
Yeah,
that's essentially what it is. And this is kind of how they do it. But you need to check out the futures desk. I think you would. I think from the technical side of it and just the data behind it. Okay. Everybody captures their data in their own sense, but it takes a lot less time for me to look at my data inside of the futures desk versus me looking at what ChatGPT has got set up for me that I've done on inside of my OneNote stuff. I guess it's just a lot better, and their customer service is freaking phenomenal. And now keep in mind, I've only experienced 2. Obviously, Take Profit Trader, which isn't bad. I like those guys as well. I like the price of them for sure. Bulenox, I did try one of them and failed it miserably. I passed I've got 2 Take Profit 50Ks that I passed. Yeah. And failed one of them, failed 2 Bulenox. I was done with Bulenox after I failed the second one. I don't know, it's just different for me. And what's weird about it is I was using Platform X with them, and
no kidding.
It I don't know, it bad luck. I think that's what it boils down to. Of course, I haven't visited those guys in probably a month though. So,
yeah. But I know what you're talking about.
I said, the Futures floor is it.
Because I have the funded, no, my funded futures. I think that's the one, MFFU.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them.
I can't get a winning trade on that with their. It's just the craziest thing. No matter what I do,
some kind of bad juju or something.
Yeah, no matter what I do, it's just losing trade after losing trade. I go, you gotta be kidding me! Everything I do on this platform, not on this platform, but with this firm, I just lose. It's comical. Yeah. It's comical, really.
And that's how it was with the Bulenox for me. I just could not, and it's not because my futures desk runs off of the same platform, which is where you can use Platform X, which I'm like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And believe it or not, I absolutely hate Trade-Evate with Take Profit Trader.
So Trade-Evate
is that ended.
I can't trade with Trade-Evate. Just for the fun of it, I tried yesterday. I can't trade with Trade.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
And check the spreads.
So I've got it tied into my trading view.
Check the spreads with Trade-Evate. I find they're larger. You know what? I'm going to check it right now, actually, even. Do I have to close down? Yeah, I have to close down. Shit. I don't want to close down. Yeah.
I haven't paid attention to that, but I've heard of people. I don't know, man. It's just, I guess some people might think it's a conspiracy or whatnot. I don't know, but listen, if I can't trade on, I can't trade on.
Yeah. Look at it, right? I find the spreads are larger. I really do. I know I was in Pine Tree's stream in the evening one night, and I'm looking at his spreads, and I'm saying it's like 2 points. I get, okay, whatever. Wow. And then I go look at my Topstep X, and it's saying 0.5, 0.75. They actually calculate it for you. They even show it. I'm looking at his again. I'm saying, okay, maybe it's going too fast. So I take a print screen, a screenshot. 2.5. What? 2.5? So I say, okay, maybe it's the broker. I don't know who he's trading with. I didn't bother to ask him. I just told him that your spreads are much larger than Topstep. So I closed down my platform. I opened up Trade-Evate, the same accounts, and the spreads were matching Pine Tree Traders spreads. And I go back into crazy. Ninja, and my spreads are normal. I'm saying, okay, I'm not trading with a 2-point spread or a 1.5 point spread. That's
right. Absolutely. No matter how much confirmation I got going on, I'm just not that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you're giving up 3 points. I don't know if they do it during high volatility or I don't know what's going on there, but it's not for me to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just noticed the pattern there a couple of times. I did notice after another time that Ninja was matching Trade of 8, but in general, you know what? I really should close down. What happens if I close everything here?
It'll blow up.
Oh no! Oh yeah, no.
Game over.
I know what I can do. Connection. I go to my. I only close my Bulenox on my other computer. Let's check this out. Main layout. Yes. Okay. Now what would we need? Okay, so I'm going to take a print screen here. I just took a random print screen. I'm going to open up Bulenox. Let's get that print screen up here. Let's check the spread. Where is it? Grab this. Copy, paste. Okay. So I think you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do we got? 60.75, 61.25, right? When I took, that's half a point.
Yeah. I mean, that's a difference.
No, we're not done yet. That's Apex. That's no, that's Ninja.
Okay.
Getting its data from Trade of 8. I'm saying Trade of 8 has a higher spread. So that 52 ticks. That 50-cent spread is matching topstep. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, I'm going to close my connection with Apex. Yes, so now I have no connection with Apex. So I can open up in the browser Trade of 8. And I'm going to grab a screenshot of the current spread. And let's just see. We can test this theory. Trade of 8. Yeah, let me just see. My connection is closed. Yes, I'm only connected to Bulenox, so I can open up Apex. Log in. Give me a second here. Launch. It's taking a little bit of a time loading. There's the spread. Okay, random print screen. Close it. Let's see what we got right now. Open up Paint Shop Pro. And where's the print screen? It was up here. Somewhere in there is the bid and ask. And the verdict is, no, it's good now. 3/4 of a point. I think you can see that right there. 57.75.
I wonder if you did that.
That's fine. Right now it's matching. But
I wonder if you did that during like some high volatility kind of stuff, you know, like early in the morning or right after the bell or something.
Well, that's to be expected. Like I see this. Like? Yeah, no, absolutely. I see them go up in top step, and that's fine. As long as it's across the board. But I did this experiment, exactly what I just did now, and the spreads were much larger, like 2 or 3 times larger in Trade of 8 than they were in, hey, you can see all the people I follow. Patrick Whelan, Joker Trades. I don't even know what the mask is. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's close this down. I don't need this anymore. Minimize, and let me get back into my thing. Okay, so anyways, I'm glad to see that it was equal right now. Let's go back in.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin, that's I think I'm gonna call it a day. We're 12 o'clock. I'm gonna go eat lunch.
Sounds good. Hey, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, man, it was fun. I always wanted to do this. You know, I like this. I'm glad you. Yeah. I'm glad you hopped in. You know, it's sometimes people are a little bit shy. Or, oh, what am I going to say? Or you know, like whatever. No, but it was good. It was fun. I think I'll do this on Fridays. I like this. I'm going to try again on Friday. So if you're around next Friday and you want to hop in again, it'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, sounds good. Have a good weekend.
All right, brother. You too.
And talk to you. See you next week.
All right. See you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.